Alright, we don't have much time, so we need to get going and get this done. We're going to drive up to the exit 57 truck wash, have some guys with some scaffolding, some pressure washers wash this thing top and bottom everywhere. $60. Totally worth it to me because I would probably break my spine up on top of that thing with a scrub brush. They've got scaffolding and everything they need to, they don't have to climb on top, they can just wash it off. Heated pressure washers with burners. They're going to blast my reflective tape off if they can. And they blast the reflective tape off, I'll give them each $20. It's worth it to me. They did a great job. I don't know where the school district gets its reflective tape, but I work in the trucking industry and the stuff we get is not that good. I would have left it. It would have lasted forever. But it's yellow. This bus isn't going to be yellow. Now begins a long and lingers process of taping off all the windows. Taping off for the paint job isn't actually going to be that hard. We're going to do 3 color stages. White on the top, helps reflect sunlight. Now white's going to stop about that black line there. And it's going to be a navy blue from there all the way down to almost the bottom. That's around all the window. On the bottom, we're going to have that nice, you see it a lot of times, a little mountain range painted on the bottom. Bottom's going to be black. Wheels going to be repainted with a newer black. But we're on the clock now. It's been washed. We got a couple days of good weather, but we also got a week full of stuff that we have to do aside from the bus. So I got to act fast and get this painted before it gets dirty again. So, we are going to use a paint ready station. This is an airless paint gun. Never used one of these before, but I have painted with air, so it can't be too different. The roof and the bottom of the bus will be using a base color of Valspar anti-rust armor. This is an oil-based enamel. So this is going on the top. Hopefully, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hopefully this stuff etches good because you know what we're not going to do? Sand every inch of this bus. So it's got enough of a fade to it that I'm hoping that there's enough texture to this faded paint that it etches into it and we don't have to sand the bus to make this stuff stick. It should stick pretty good anyway. Our same product in the color black. This goes around the bottom of the truck. It'll be the last thing that we put on. And what we're using for our color is this Valspar Duramax exterior paint Flex Shield 365. It's got a year-round resistance for cracking and peeling. Supposed to be some good stuff. And it's this real pretty navy blue color. I think we're really going to like it. Well, I'm going to like it. I got to pick what the outside of the bus looks like. She gets to pick what the inside of the bus looks like. That's the deal. So if you don't like the way the bus looks on the outside when it's done, that's on me. Okay, now as far as I know, what we have left is tape work. I got tape perimeter all the way around the top where I want the white to end and the blue to begin. And then I've got a little bit of more taping to do on the window. I might throw some plastic over the engine because I got some overspray on the engine last night. And I kind of would like that to not have overspray on it. And then paint. It's not too hot, not too cold, or not too wet. Well, that finishes up the gray, which was supposed to be blue. Let's start out by saying that. It's called slate. Should have known. I had it mixed. It looked different in the store. Used up every single drop, so everything that's left yellow is going to have to become black, whether I like it or not. Pretty much, I got everything painted that I wanted to, except for the back of the bus. So the back of the bus is going to need like the escape door and a few extra things painted black that I wasn't planning on painting black. Okay, so finally we've got it finished. The paint stuck pretty good. The only place I sanded was the roof and a few places on top of the hood. There's just kind of a more peely texture to a layer of paint on the top. So we sanded those, not necessarily to make the new paint stick, but to make sure that nothing would flake off and bring the new paint with it. So the black is really glossy and it shows a lot of imperfection. I tried to paint it a little fast and the paint's kind of got a saggy run texture to it, but that saggy run texture is pretty consistent. So I'm just going to tell everybody that it's gloss rhinoline and call it a day. It's pretty glossy and it sticks really good. It's also really hard to clean off of your paint tool. Yeah, keep that in mind. We use a total of just 3 gallons and probably 2 or 3 rattle cans of paint to do this. That is very close to the minimum amount of paint you need, and this is pretty high quality paint. This is paint that I was getting full coverage on one swipe if I went slow enough. Definitely not the cheapest you can get. I didn't want to get cheap paint. I knew I was going to cut plenty of corners, and cutting corners on the quality of paint is something I decided not to do. I didn't know exactly what I was doing with the paint gun at first. I went a little heavy on top on the white on the back, and so I ran out of white on the front. I definitely could have made that do the whole run if I had paid more attention to what I was doing. The slate blue, there really wasn't anything I could do to stretch that any further. It went down good. I didn't really mess up anywhere, and it still wasn't quite enough. After doing the hood, still couldn't quite get the back done, so I painted the door black with rattle can and stuff to blend it in so we could just finish this job up and move on to the next thing. I'm really happy with how it looks. We spent a little extra money on the quality of paint, but we didn't get any more than we needed. And we spent a little money getting it washed, but it was a thorough job and I didn't get injured or fall off it. And it took just a couple minutes, less than an hour to get the whole thing done. And I got the reflective tape taken off for me, which saved me probably more than a day's worth of work. I'm not going to say this is the only way you can do it, but this is the way we did it, and I'm happy with it. I'm moving on. It looks so much better, and because it looks better, I'm more motivated to work on it. If anything, that's one of the reasons I did the paint before the inside. It just didn't look nice. Now it looks nice. I'm pretty proud of it, and I feel like working on the inside a lot more than I did when it was a big, ugly yellow school bus. If you're looking at getting into one of these and you're not sure whether to tackle the snake by the tail or the head, I can't really tell you which I just did, but I know that most people will go ahead and do the inside and they'll do the paint last. I did the paint first and I'm pretty happy with that. If it takes me more than a year to finish this thing, for that entire time, it will still look good on the outside. So that's my advice, and that's how I went about it with the best of my knowledge and abilities. Maybe some of this can help you, and you can add your own knowledge and do your plenty of research, figure out what you want, and just figure out how you want to do it and decide when you want to do it. This is me signing off, and I'll keep you guys up to date as we get this thing fixed up. Later.